This is the International Explainer, and today we follow the money, the weapons, and the alliances. The Iran-Israel conflict isn't just about two countries. It's a global chessboard with players like the US, Russia, China, and the Gulf monarchies moving behind the scenes. Want to know who's really pulling the strings? Stay with us, and subscribe if you haven't already. What happens if Israel and Iran go to war? Full risk breakdown. Are we headed for a full-scale Israel-Iran war? The first risk is the one everyone fears, an all-out war between Israel and Iran. So far, the conflict has taken the form of limited strikes, targeted assassinations, cyber attacks, or indirect confrontations. But since the direct Iranian strikes of early 2025, a red line seems to have been crossed. If a new attack results in large numbers of Israeli deaths, Israel could retaliate en masse, targeting vital infrastructure in Iran. In return, Tehran could mobilize its regional allies, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon or Shiite militias in Iraq, to launch a coordinated offensive. This military escalation could quickly get out of hand. Strikes on Iranian nuclear or military sites, with the risk of contamination or flashover. Launch of long-range ballistic missiles towards Israel, with or without chemical warheads. US intervention in support of Israel, which would turn the conflict into a regional or even international war. At this stage, no army is really seeking direct confrontation, but the logic of escalation could make such a war inevitable if a major event occurs.
How the Israel-Iran conflict could destabilize the entire Middle East. A direct conflict between Israel and Iran would send shockwaves throughout the region. In Lebanon, Hezbollah, armed with tens of thousands of rockets, could open a northern front against Israel, triggering reciprocal bombardments and massive destruction. In Syria, already fragmented by 12 years of civil war, a new wave of Israeli strikes against Iranian positions could shatter the country's fragile balance. In Iraq, pro-Iranian militias are said to be targeting American bases, with the risk of the conflict spreading to the American army. In the Persian Gulf, the Straits of Hormuz, through which almost a third of the world's oil transits, would become high-risk zones, with attacks on ships, blockades, and sabotage. In other words, the whole of the Middle East could become a shattered battlefield, with every country drawn, willingly or unwillingly, into the spiral of violence.
How war between Israel and Iran could trigger a global economic crisis. The Israel-Iran conflict goes beyond the military sphere. Its economic repercussions could be planetary. Oil on the front line. One of the first impacts would be a sharp rise in oil prices. Iran controls or threatens several strategic points in world oil traffic: the Strait of Hormuz between Iran and Oman, oil terminals in Iraq and Kuwait, pipelines linking the Gulf to the Mediterranean. If Iran closes these routes or attacks tankers, oil prices could double in a matter of days, as they did in 1973 or 1990. This would lead to global inflation, with rising prices for petrol, transport, food, and raw materials, financial market instability. The prospect of a regional war between great powers would also disrupt stock markets, which hate uncertainty, currencies with a flight to the dollar or gold, foreign investment, particularly in the Middle East and North Africa. Such instability could exacerbate the economic fragilities already present in the wake of the pandemic, the conflicts in Ukraine, and tensions with China. The human cost: how civilians will suffer if war breaks out. As always in modern conflicts, civilians are the first to be affected. The humanitarian consequences would be considerable on both sides. In Israel, risk of missile strikes on major cities: Tel Aviv, Haifa, Jerusalem. Massive use of shelters, evacuation of sensitive areas, post-traumatic stress, constant fear, interruption of daily life. In Iran, risk of targeted bombing of strategic infrastructures with possible collateral damage, authoritarian regime reaction, internal repression, internet blackouts, and curfews. In neighboring countries, thousands of refugees could flee combat zones. Southern Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. Humanitarian crisis in the camps or at the borders. Overworked NGOs, overwhelmed hospitals, breakdown of the food chain in some areas. These impacts would be long-lasting. Even a short war could devastate an entire generation, leaving countries in ruins and exacerbating hatred between communities. It's not just ideology or religion. It's strategy, energy, and empire. But what does this mean for you? In our final episode, we'll explain why the Israel-Iran conflict matters to the entire world and how it could reshape your economy, your politics, and your future. Subscribe to the International Explainer to catch this crucial conclusion.